Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your great support always. I'm so grateful for your continued support to this channel. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Otiende Amollo, the Member of Parliament of Rarieda, shocked William Ruto, Raila Odinga, and the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Masika Wetangula, when he confessed that we don't have parliament totally. And he conceded, saying that this 13th parliament has done nothing. I want you to listen to Otiende Amollo as Moses Masika Wetangula, who is the Speaker of the National Assembly, is feeling like what Otiende Amollo is saying is not adding up according to him. Is not adding up to him totally. So I want you to watch the video, but before we watch, as you always do, ensure you like the video. When you like the video, you automatically support the work that I'm doing in this channel, because nimegundua you watch and you forget liking the video. So I usually take this time to remind you, like this video before you watch Otiende Amollo. Thank you so much for that like. Let us listen to this video.
I am the first to concede, and I've said this and I've conceded it in public, that I don't think we are doing well in Parliament, especially the 13th Parliament. I am not here to apologize. But just like all other branches, there are successes, but there's work to be done. At least in our favor, 15 years down the line, we still have a bicameral parliament. 15 years down the line, we've held elections regularly. We are still able to vet. We are even able to impeach, as we recently did. So at least it is there. But there are two problems that I see. One is historical and one is institutional. The historical one, Chair, you will remember, is the problem between the National Assembly and the Senate. In the Committee of Experts, we had designated the Senate as the upper house. You who were in Parliament then decided that we did not need a Senate and removed it. When it came to us, given the historical experience that we had in this country, we decided we needed a Senate at least to protect devolution. So unfortunately, all the powers we had given to the Senate were removed, and we left the Senate with a threadbare role of protecting devolution and taking care of the interest of the devolved units. Very little. And ultimately, therefore, with the subsequent interpretation by the Supreme Court and all, there remains sibling rivalry between the Senate and the National Assembly, and sometimes it becomes a problem for Parliament as Parliament. That is historical. The institutional one is one of our creation, and it was created before I joined Parliament. We changed, the Committee of Experts had proposed a parliamentary system. Members of Parliament, in their wisdom, in Naivasha, changed it to a presidential system. And so we had to make things to adopt to that presidential system. Whatever we made to adopt to the presidential system does not seem to have been reflected in the structure of politics. So that what we have now is you have members of Parliament from the party that is in the executive, and because they are the majority in Parliament, they call themselves government. You have members of Parliament from the minority who call themselves opposition. Members of Parliament are yet to learn that there is no government or opposition inside of Parliament. There is only the majority and the minority, and collectively we are supposed to oversight the executive. That we have not learned, and it's something we struggle with, and that's part of the problem. I think moving forward, there are things to be done. One, if Parliament must seriously work on the trust deficit that we currently have. But secondly, and Njoki talked about judicial overreach, we had a colloquium with the judiciary recently, and I made the proposition that while the judiciary is free to handle Parliament in any way, especially when it's doing a quasi-judicial duty, please let Parliament handle legislation, because there are inbuilt mechanisms. You can find us wrong later. But lastly, from the executive perspective, it must also reduce its chokehold on parliament. Kidogo tu, then we'll be able to move forward. Thank you very much.
Now, after listening to Otiende Amollo Kenyans, nimekuwa nikisema mara kadhaa hapa, hatuna parliament. Hatuna parliament. When these individuals took over and they were sworn in the office, I know these individuals, they do understand their role. But when you look at the way they are behaving, is extremely opposite. And I can tell you without any fear of contradiction, Kenyans, we don't have parliament. I saw there was a news where William Ruto was being advised. Was it by the judiciary led by the Chief Justice Martha Koome that he should dissolve the parliament because of the gender rule has not been met yet? And of course, could it be possible for the president to decide to dissolve the parliament because this 13th parliament is as useless as the Kenya Kwanza government? Because for me, many a times I've seen the way these members of parliament are reasoning. They are reasoning as if they never, of course, realized their roles in the parliament. And those offices they are occupying is as if William Ruto is the one who elected them. Yes, most of the time you'll see them in his state house, going to collect something small. Then after coming from state house, they forget everything. Things that should benefit Kenyans are things that these individuals are demeaning. Na wanaifinyilia kabisa hawapitishi. Those things, yenye nasaidia William Ruto na hao wanapitisha. So you can even saw when David Ochieng, Honorable Member of Parliament of Ugenya, Siaya County, said and complaining before the parliament that when William Ruto wanted the SHA to be passed, they passed for him. When William Ruto wanted the housing levy to be passed, they passed for him. When William Ruto wanted the finance bill to be passed, they passed for him. In other words, these bills si ya kufavor wa Kenya hata kidogo. Si ya kufavor wa Kenya hata kidogo. Na wa Kenya mjue mahali popote mpo, hakuna au viongozi ambao watasimama pale kwa bunge wa kutetea. Hakuna. Sasa hatuna bunge. Since the Gen Zs infiltrated the parliament na wakaamua kuingia huko, they took power back. They took it back. And that is why sometimes, most of the time, you will see these members of parliament, they are not being honored. Hata wanahesabiwa chochote na wananchi kwa sababu walishajua hii nguvu walishachukua wakarudisha kwa sababu wakati hao watu walichaguliwa wakawekwa kwa hizi maofisi, these individuals thought like they are so powerful than even the people, and that is why they wanted to do whatever they want. They wanted to do whatever they want. They never wanted to do what that favors the people. Because truly, let us speak the truth. Let us call a spade, not a big spoon. When this parliament, they realized that the housing levy was not favoring Kenyans at all, what was their prospect towards it? They never realized even what Kenyans were saying. They passed it for William Ruto the way David Ochieng said. When William Ruto brought a punitive finance bill despite of the uproar last year, 2024, about the finance bill 2024, still William Ruto brought his punitive finance bill. They passed it for him. When it comes to SHA, the Social Health Authority, what happened? When the SHA was not working, the MPs defended the SHA. They passed the SHA. Today, what do you think about these members of parliament? Because there's no guarantee these members of parliament are going to work for the people. They are going to continue working with William Ruto or working for William Ruto, as if it is William Ruto who queued and voted for them. Most of the time I've realized, you will understand this. I know some individuals will not accept. William Ruto ameteka nyara parliament. And that is why these members of parliament cannot reason beyond their long noses. They're just there. They're just there. Ni kama mapipa. Wamesanya wakaenda wakaweka pale. Hakuna mtu anatutetea. Na ukisikia kwamba wameungana, wanatetea kitu fulani, ujue ni kitu in our benefit. Ni kitu in our benefit. Si kwa benefit. I saw Raila saying about the issue of the CDF money. This CDF money, umegundua MPs wameungana. Umegundua hiyo kitu. MPs wameungana. They want to defend the CDF from one MP to the last. And their purpose there is, of course, to make them still control the CDF. At the moment the CDF is going to be snatched from them, it is final. These MPs will not have any voice. I gave you an example here. When a member of parliament went to a certain meeting together with the governor, together with the MCA, senator, women rep, you will find that MP is so powerful. Why? Because a member of parliament will stood up and say, not even stood, will stand up and say, I've built classrooms, about 50 of them. I've bought the school bus. I've built 3 police stations and working. I've repaired some roads with the road maintenance levy. When the governor will take over, hakuna kitu governor atasema amefanya. Kwa sababu itaonekana so shallow for a governor to say amefanya na MP. So MP ni kama anajionyesha anafanya kazi mo. So Raila Odinga decided to tell these individuals, we want devolution to be fully transferred to the county government. But MPs are coming out asking if the devolution should be taken fully to the county government. What about the monies these county governments are receiving? What have they done with the monies they have received? That is the question. What have they done? So when you see these members of parliament, especially this 13th parliament, wachana, kitambo tulikuwa na MPs. Walikuwa na reason. They were reasoning. Wangekaa chini hivi usikiwa na debate, they were literally defending for the people. And that is why today the parliament is that we have members of parliament allied to the government. They cannot oversight. They cannot legislate laws that will favor the people. They cannot represent the people. They will represent the government in parliament. We are having a section of members of parliament who will say we are in the opposition. They will cater for the opposition leader. They will legislate and try bring some laws that will favor the opposition. They will represent the opposition, not the people. Are you getting that? So when Otiende Amollo is coming out to say so, it is clear, Kenyans, we are cooked. We don't have members of parliament. We are literally and completely cooked. Take it to the nearest bank. When Otiende Amollo said that, he even said what I've always said in this channel. We don't have 13th parliament. It is gone. What do you think? Drop your opinion at the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you so much because of your great support. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing this video. Till we meet in another video.